Welcome everyone to Show Mode, my pop-up podcast series here on the show. I'm so excited to jump straight in because I know that studio owners are getting ready for showtime. You're in show mode. It truly is such an important part of the calendar within any studio business. And so I want to support you along that journey and make sure that you absolutely crush it. Okay, that's what this is all about. We want to be prepared. We want to feel organized. We want to feel calm. And we really just want to leverage from the opportunity that is concert and show season. Now, to kick off my show mode series, I am introducing a very special guest. Her name is Deb Szabo. She's actually a good friend of mine. We've met through numerous business networks, but more recently, I've just fallen in love with what she does, and I had to get her on the show, and show mode felt like the perfect time. Now, Deb is a self-confessed tech geek who teaches you how to leverage video and AI. She has a membership called Content Catalyst, and she gives you the strategy and the tools so you know what content to make, how to create it, and where to share it. So you can go from forgettable to credible. Now, you're probably wondering, what has this got to do with show season? You're about to find out, because this is your time to shine, and there is so much content and marketing gold, not only during the show process, but in the lead up. So we're going to look at what that actually means and how you can benefit from using the power of video and really tap into this marketing gold. And Deb's going to talk us through it. So without further ado, welcome to my pop-up podcast series. Let's do this. Are you in show mode right now? Performing arts and dance studio owners, if you are feeling consumed with concert prep or about to gear up for showtime, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Show Mode, my exclusive pop-up podcast series here on Studio Biz and all that jazz, where we cover the critical steps to nailing your next show season. I'm your host and mentor, Josephine Lancuba. Join me and my expert guests for 5 bonus episodes as we get ready for show mode. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I just want to let you know, studio owners, that I'm actually running a free 3-day live coaching event. It's happening online and you're invited. It's actually called Show Mode. Yep. And it's designed to help you thrive this show season while keeping your cool, because I truly would love for you to feel organized, stress-free, and calm during this concert preparation. Yeah, we want to make sure this is a successful and unforgettable show season. Register now for the free coaching. Again, it's happening this September, so don't miss out. Head to josephinelancuba.com/show mode. Link is also in the show notes. All right, on with the show. Hello and welcome everyone to our pop-up series, Show Mode, here on Studio Biz and all that jazz, because we know that you're completely consumed with concert preparation right now, and I want to support you along that path. Today, I have the wonderful Deb Szabo. She's the Content Catalyst, and you're going to hear all about all the things she does and all the amazing things that she can help you with in relation to your upcoming production, because there's so much content gold that is about to happen, and we want to make sure we capture that. So welcome, Deb.
Thank you so much, Jo. How are you today?
Yeah, not too bad. I've come on a little tired, but I am so glad to have you here. You know, I am also in that end of season preparation. I know that, I recently did sell my business of 10 years, my studio business of 10 years. But having said that, I'm now supporting my studio owners that are my clients through their show mode experience. And it's a really big time of the year. So I totally get that fatigue and exhaustion and how we can take the foot off the pedal at this time when sometimes we need to accelerate, especially in the marketing space, which we're going to talk about. So tell everyone a little bit about yourself and your background. What do you do in this world, Deb?
Yeah, so I've got, I'd hate to admit how many decades, but it's about 3 in marketing. And I've worked in Look, my business now, I'm the founder of Content Catalyst, which is a marketing hub. It's an online marketing hub for businesses to have the support and the tools to actually get visible online and scale their business. So I have a love of video. So I'm a marketing strategist, but I have a love of video. So you'll always see me walking around with my camera in my hand, basically capturing content. And so I know the power of video and the ability that we have to promote our business anywhere, anytime, just using our phone for free. So I wanted to be able to share that with other business owners because like I said, I know the power of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think that studio owners are missing an opportunity. I speak to many of them every single week in my work as a coach, and they often say when it comes to marketing, oh, I don't have time to film any content in the class, or
Yeah.
oh, I was meant to capture that, but
Yeah.
it just didn't happen. And
Yeah.
so there's no priority on capturing those moments that really are part of a modern day marketing strategy.
Yeah.
So let's talk through that, because I want to talk about social proof today. I want to talk about how we can document and create, etc., in the lead up to the show, but also what studio owners can do not only in the lead up but during the show to make sure that they're continuing to market and promote their business. So let's start from the top. Let's talk about the lead up, because I know we talked off camera just then and you had some great things. So please share away.
Yeah, look, that was one of the reasons why I created Content Catalyst, because as business owners, we're so busy doing our business. And for anyone that wants to be successful in business these days, the numbers are in or around 70% of our efforts actually need to be concentrated on the actual marketing. Now, those numbers get overwhelming when you think, oh my God, how can I do that? I've got classes to lead. I've got to do all the admin and things. And that was one of the reasons why I created what I did, because as business owners, we are so busy doing the things. However, that is actually the opportunity to create content gold. And I have a few tips to share with you today on how busy studio owners getting ready for show mode, getting ready for the end of year production can actually optimize, not only like optimize what they're doing right now, but make it content gold that they can use for years and years and years down the track. And one of the things you mentioned before was social proofing. Social proofing is about going, oh, that's recognition, it's credibility, and it's also visibility. And so when you are able to do those three things in your business, people will come to you. And how we do that is we show what we do. And this is why leading up to show mode, this is the time that's actually content gold. So there's a couple of different things that we can do right now to capture that. So we were just talking off camera before, and I'm watching the guys on My Kitchen Rules, Manu and Colin Fassonage, doing their teaser content right now, leading into they're about to go and record in New Zealand. So they're on the plane, they're in the airport lounge, they're in the hotel. All of this stuff is leading up to getting them ready and promoting what they're actually doing. So this is a way that studio owners can actually capitalize on what TV shows are doing now, is that behind the scenes. And this is why reality TV is so powerful, is because people love to see what's going on behind the scenes. So when we document what we do, one, we don't have to think about making a big production of going, oh, I don't have time to capture video and photos. It just becomes part of our everyday.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, isn't it? Because I think as creatives, intuitively, we think we have to be creative in capturing the content, and then that almost stops you from doing it, because you're like, oh, I have to think of this amazing, funny TikTok video, but that's not what you're saying. You're saying it's really that documentation over the creation, over that creative aspect when it comes to just grab the content. Yeah.
If you think about all of the Netflix documentaries that are on at the moment, and I'm thinking of like, there was Celine Dion, there was Taylor Swift, there was Lady Gaga, there was J-Lo, there was all these behind the scenes artists. So there was all these documentaries rather of behind the scenes getting ready for the show. You know, they were in pain and they had to see the doctor and their recovery and their performance preparation of them, like, you know, going through their ideation of writing a song. We're fascinated by that to the point that there's an actual Netflix documentary about it. So how can you make your own Netflix documentary without it taking a lot of your energy? And how you do it is literally by taking this phone that's in your pocket and a little selfie stick and literally documenting every little bit what you do. Just all you have to do is like literally open up your video camera and just speak to it. What are you doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And then when we have that content, okay, so we're still leading up to the show. We're not at the show just yet.
Yep.
So we're leading up to the show. We've got all this content. I
Yep.
think there's an overwhelm in the organization of the content as well. So you've got all this stuff on your phone, right? This happened
Yeah.
to me recently, actually.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to get all this beautiful content. And I've started doing it and I do it everywhere now. And it's been so amazing. And I'm just loving it because I've always got something to go to each day and I don't even have to worry about what will I post today. It's like, I've got so much content. It's amazing. But I started thinking about how do I sort that now because I don't want it to all be living in my phone. So I've started like saving them into photo albums, uploading them into a Google Drive and saving them and filing them. Like it's so hard because everything's on your phone these days and it can get quite cluttered. So then what's your organization tactic around that?
Yeah, so a couple of things that you can do as you're going along. You've got a tripod right there behind you, Joe, and I love that you've got that right there because um, I make a point of having my tools around me. So when I walk in the morning, I've got a tripod like you right on my desk. I
Yeah.
put my phone on it and I capture a story. So my story just goes to Instagram and it just says, this is what's on my schedule for today. I'm actually editing a video. I'm actually going out and doing a marketing, plan for someone. So I'm documenting that. That's number one. Number two, go live. Going live, you still have that footage in your phone that's stored in archives in Instagram. If you're going live on, let's say Instagram is your, number one platform that you focus on. So you've got both of those stories and videos stored in there. And then going live also means that you don't have to edit as well.
Yeah.
So it still documents what you're doing. Now, I've got about 20,000 videos clips on my phone right now. And so I get what you're saying about it can fill up very quickly, but organizing them into albums. So even if you're just sitting in bed of a night and just go click, 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 album, click, 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 album. And then what I did the other day, I have a Dropbox folder that's linked on my computer and I can just drag the photo. So have your photo album open and you can just drag it into the Dropbox.
Yeah.
So that's another way of organizing it. I'm not a big fan of hard drives because I always lose them or corrupt them or something. So I like to have things on a cloud.
Oh, the
But
cloud is where it's at.
the cloud is my fan. So I literally I pay for extra storage on my phone. So I think I've got like 2 terabytes. I never have to worry about that
And
then.
it's such a good investment. Storage in the cloud is such a good investment, especially when you're capturing content.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. I think it's absolutely worth it. So I 100%, I use Google Drive, but I pay for the extra storage, whatever. It doesn't matter what your flavor is, as long as that you've got it somewhere in
Doesn't
the
matter.
cloud.
Google Drive and Dropbox are connected to most things as well. Generally, I use Dropbox because when you use videos, it can take up a lot more memory and I just find it cheaper to use Dropbox storage, like large storage. I think I've got like 2 terabytes on Dropbox as well, but I can fill up Google very quickly. So that's my only difference between the two that I've learned. But I love the ease of Google. And it's
also,
shareability.
I think that not overthinking it. So, we talked about capturing these live moments. You've just talked about going live on Instagram or wherever. The point of that is as well, I think sometimes people are scared when they go live because they think,
no one's there and there's 0 people watching, but it's not in the live, it's in
The
the replay.
Yes.
So just remember that. Don't worry if no
100%.
one's watching you live. We're not pretending to be Kim Kardashian here. You
No.
don't need to have 1 million followers.
No.
It's not about
I
that.
built one of the businesses that I used to work with. We actually built and turned around a business that was in the red to making multi-millions. And the reason how we did that was because we did live. We had a live stream series every week, and we just turned up live. Now there might have been 1 or 2 people that had tuned in at that time, but there was thousands of people that watched it over the weekend because we did a Friday series. And it's interesting because I have people come up to me later going, "Oh yeah, I see your lives. I never watch them, but they're great." But here's the thing: 5 minutes later, they tell me everything that was in the live. So it's like the power of lives. Never underestimate the power of going live. And if I can give everyone a tip, when you go live, think about your hook. Think about what your purpose is of going live. Please don't start with, "Hey guys, how you going? Thought I'd just jump in." Just go straight into what your purpose of the video is. And I always think those first 3 seconds are the most important, because when you go live, you're not waiting for people to jump in. You're just getting to the point. And then whoever jumps in, because live streaming, people will jump in and out all the time. So it's just good to recap what you're talking about as well. But always get to the point in the first 3 seconds, because the majority of people, as we just mentioned, watch the replay. And so they're just going to be scrolling along, and they'll just keep scrolling if you're flapping about and fluffing.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about that lead up. We're building momentum.
Yes.
We're leading to the show. We've got marketing gold. Remember that this marketing gold that you've got, this B-roll, this, going live, this natural occurrence within your business is actually interesting content to people. Even if you think it's boring, it's not.
Very.
It's not. People love this. They love to see the real life situation of what people have going on in their lives and businesses.
Yeah.
So this is actually a very important time of the year, because what can happen is, for many studio owners, they take the pedal off marketing because they're in show mode.
Yeah.
And this is actually critical timing, because we know that January, February season is like peak enrollment season. That term 1 of the new year is peak enrollment. Now's the time to begin engaging people. Now's the time they're going to start thinking about next year for their kids, or, depending who you serve, adults, whatever. People are going to start thinking about next year activities. They're going to start searching. They're going to start watching and thinking, and you want to be front of mind, right? So you want to be front of mind. You want to be the person that pops up in their feed, and that they're actually thinking about when they go, "Where am I going to go next year? Oh yeah, that place that I've been watching and really engaged with and enjoying watching their content," right?
Yeah.
So now we've led to the show moment. Here's the thing I want to just touch on briefly here, and that is the actual show. Now, we know, studio owners listening at home, that you already have your videographer and you have your photographer. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about capturing the actual production itself, and we understand that you may sell those videos or keep them, and you can absolutely repurpose those stage moments for content. Of course you can, those professional videos. But I think that there's some power here in allocating a person of staff to be your, I keep going to say D-Rock, because I'm loving Gary Vee right now.
Yeah,
I'm loving
me
his
too.
book. What's it called?
A day trading attention.
Day trading attention. And he's got this videographer editor dude that's called D-Rock, who just basically follows him around in life. And captures everything, and then, mixes it all together and throws it onto the social platforms. I'm sure it's a lot more detailed than that, because we're talking about Gary Vee, multimillionaire, whatever. But in your case, you don't have to have a D-Rock per se, but even just a young person who's just walking, it's an investment, and think of it as marketing budget. That's how I want you to think of it, because people will dunk thousands of dollars in Facebook ads that may or may not work, but
without
they won't spend $200 on a staff member, a young person who's just there to capture content on a phone. That is your marketing content. So talk me through what sort of things they could be looking at when it comes to capturing content during show.
Yeah. I've run big event productions over the years. And one of the things when you're in that mode of having to just focus on your checklist, it's really also, and especially when you're interacting with different people, it's really difficult to capture content as well, right? So you can't be thinking of both. So the best thing to do, and this is what I've always done, is allocate a person to go, you're on content, you're on capturing content. Now, I will always go video first because it just gives me so much gold. And people as a default will always get a photo. So you're like, I went to a conference last week, heaps of photos that people took, but not a lot of video, where I was the person getting the video stuff. So think about video first. And the other thing is, when you start now to have someone even follow you around, like just say you've got an assistant or whatever, or one of your team members or one of your students or anything like that, get them onto it now. Because what you want to do, one, it builds anticipation for the show. It'll help you sell tickets, but it'll also help with your future enrollments when it comes to enrollment time. By the time enrollment comes along, they'll be saying, I saw everything you did behind the scenes and I want some of that.
Yes.
And so when you actually have someone allocated on showtime, what you're selling, right? It's not your production, it's actually your studio. Right. So when you have someone allocated to just doing that, filming you, filming behind the scenes, again, it's that behind the scenes content is powerful, powerful gold content for your marketing that you can repurpose year after year after year. I mean, inside Content Catalyst this month, we're doing a whole thing on product launches and campaigns. And one of our editing workrooms is all about remixing and refreshing content to give it a new lease of life. Because I will use I did 3 campaigns this year where 70 to 80% of content was repurposed because I had a content library. So that means that when you build a content library, it will save you time and money in the future when you go to launch enrollments, in your case, as a studio owner, that it will increase your enrollments because you don't have to go in there going, join my studio, join my studio. It's just, I want to join your studio because I saw all of the things that you do behind the scenes.
Yeah, totally. I love that you've also said it's not about the production. It's
No,
about the process. It's about
it's
people
about
being
the process.
engaged in the process. And I love that
Mm,
a lot.
mm,
I also like the fact that we're talking about creating content libraries. And that's sort of what I was alluding to earlier about,
yeah,
storing them in folders, and you're building a library. That's
yeah,
what you're doing, really. Building the library in the cloud, right? And that doesn't mean that you can't do paid advertising. Of course you can. But now you've even got such better content. You
yeah,
can use that. Not all adverts have to be, yes, of course, we want to have structure, and we want to send our message and really be clear about what we're selling. But
yeah.
sometimes it is that B-roll that can be used and things like that in those moments that you can use in those paid content and in those paid advertising campaigns. Would you agree with that? What's your take
Yeah,
on that?
Joe, I'm working with Facebook ad strategists at the moment. And one of the things, I actually recorded her sales video on Saturday. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a whole video challenge so people could make a sales video specifically for their website, social media, and Facebook ads. And with working with Stacey, I recorded her, I did her script and I did her video for her own sales video to run ads to. But here's the thing, and we had this discussion about like what people are posting on like for Facebook ads. And one, boosting ads is not a strategy. Okay, so if you're boosting ads, then get some expert advice about how to actually maximize your ad strategy and your dollars. That's number one. Number two, have a purpose with your ad. And some of all of that content that you're capturing now will make up all your gold content for your ads that will resonate. Now, just before I got on, I was editing a video for somebody, which is just a straight talking head video like this. And to add engagement and interaction, so to keep interest with your Facebook ads, think about incorporating some of that footage in there to overlay your talking head video. And this style of content is really, really powerful to run ads to.
I love that. Okay, well, I could talk to you all day. This is meant to be a pop-up series.
I
I'm
know,
supposed to
right?
keep it short and sweet. I can't
Yeah.
help it. I just keep talking and talking and talking. Let's leave today with just your final thoughts. So we've talked about, building that momentum, using video to capture those moments in the lead up to show. That's your marketing tool. It's an attraction tool. It's also something we can use during show if we can, having someone allocated to that role.
Yes.
As well, a dedicated person, because you're going to say, studio owners, I can do it, I'll do it, it's going to be great, and you're not going to do it.
And
It's too hectic.
the other thing I'll add to that, Joe, and somebody was doing a book launch a couple of weeks ago and they said, oh, my friend is going to be taking the video of me on the day. And I went, great. If they don't have 50 videos in your phone by the end of the day, they're not trying. And she's like, oh. And so by setting that benchmark to your D-Rock, as we were talking about, really helps them go, it's better to get heaps more than heaps less. So
100%.
just get lots of little random clips, and it's better to also get short clips of like 5 seconds, 5 seconds of this, 5 seconds of that, 10 seconds of this. The other thing I'll give everyone the tip on, don't stand there for like a minute trying to get a whole minute's worth of content. It's better off just to get a clip of this, a clip of that, unless it's a really engaging part of what you're talking about, unless it's, talking in a discussion that you can utilize as voiceover or A-roll later down the track. But otherwise, just think in short clips, little 10-second bursts of B-roll clips. And if you are going to be making a video for your website, normally for social media, I always recommend to go vertical. But if you want to repurpose it, it's actually good to go horizontal, because then you can actually add it to YouTube videos or website videos, and you can always crop in as well. So that's just another hint. But short bursts of content, build up your content library, allocate a D-Rock, and go live, do stories, just document, and get heaps more than you think you're going to need, and get a shot list as well of going, if you're going to do behind the scenes at the point, give whoever's got the phone recording you, give them it going, I want 10 shots of me at the desk. I want 10 shots of me in the fitting room doing costumes.
We want backstage. We want kids running on from the wings. We want whatever. Yeah.
So give them a shot list of what you actually want.
Teachers instructing students in rehearsal, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, just before we go as well, just making sure that and this is really important, even if you do get someone on to do this, making sure that they've got those children's safety checks as well, depending on your state or territory. So in New South Wales, they have to have a working with children's check, but just making sure that you've got that covered, because if you're going to be sending someone backstage with a video camera, you just want to make sure that you've got that covered when you've got minors. So that's just an important little side tip there.
Joe, just the other thing on that, sorry, when you are filming things, a lot of the time people think that you have to get like a release, and yes, in instances you do, but what I always recommend is, if you are just going to have someone follow you around with a camera, and I like film in public spaces all the time with this, is just go up and say, hey guys, I'm going to be filming. If you don't want to be filmed, just let me know. And so that way you can exclude them, and that way you don't have to think, oh, I have to go to this whole room of 1,000 people and get like release forms. You can just literally say, we're going to be filming here, and this is part of what we're going to be doing. So most people are, yep, that's fine.
Well, I'm hoping that studio owners have release forms. I always recommend this to my clients. They have release forms on their student enrollment. So it's just a tick box.
That's exactly right.
I always think that that's just great, because if you want to get content, of course you're going to get content. We're in the arts, we're in entertainment, we're producing entertaining, featured shows and parts that I think need to be seen by others, and it's not just about on stage, it's about on screen too. So let's do that. All right, before we go, how can people find you? And then we'll make sure we pop any of that in the show notes for everyone as well.
So my website is debszabo.com, and you can find me at Content Catalyst, and I'm on Instagram, debszabo_video.
Yay. And we'll pop that all in the show notes for everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of Show Mode. And don't forget, everyone, like I said in the intro, you can join me for 3 days of free coaching this September. Head to josephinelancuba.com/show mode and we are going to really walk through those critical steps to nailing your next concert season. Thanks, Deb, for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jo. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to my pop-up series, Show Mode. Now, don't forget, studio owners, to register now for my free online concert prep coaching experience to get the support you need for this upcoming show season. Head to josephinelancuba.com/show mode or head to the link in the show notes now to register. Thanks again and see you there.